Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to quickly go over a few things you need to know to complete assignment 2. And this should serve you as a review of some of the procedures you have to do for assignment 1. So I'm gonna do the entire process with the virtual lab, since most of you seem to be doing the lab assignments in your personal laptop or computer. If you're using a school computer, the process is a lot simpler because you can just download the data, and if you just click the data itself, then the school computer has SPSS and it'll open up the data. All right, so before we start, go to the RD2L content and lab materials, and it should have assignment 2 and assignment 2 data. I haven't made them visible yet because I'm recording this ahead of time. But if you have assignment 2, you download it and save it on your computer so you can upload it when you're done. So this is assignment 2, and you will need assignment 2 data. And again, if you want to complete your assignment 2, you need this data. So I'm gonna click it and download this file. Since your personal laptop does not have SPSS, if you just click this, it won't be able to open, okay? So instead, what you have to do is save this file in your OneDrive folder. So go to your MyRU page, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see your OneDrive. And this is the cloud space for you to save anything, and you can access it anytime when you sign into your MyRU. I recommend you creating a folder that's designated for the 301 lab stuff, so you can just combine everything in that folder. So I'm gonna click this folder, and then I'm gonna drag this downloaded file into this folder. Or you can go to the downloads section of your computer folder file and then move that over here. So you're basically just uploading the data that you just downloaded into this OneDrive space, okay? Once you've done that, now you can go back to the assignment and click this link. Okay. And you're gonna click this link, this picture, and then I'll ask you to sign into your account, and then this page pops up. Then you click SPSS. This is the program that we're using. So click that. And then it takes 2 minutes for it to load. So give that a second. All right, so after 2 minutes or a little longer, depending on the your internet connection, this window will pop up. You don't need this, so just close it out. And then from here, you're going to go to your file. Oh, you should have connected your OneDrive to your My Files. You should have done that for your assignment 1, but just a quick reminder, go to My Files here, and then you should link your OneDrive here. There should be something here, which is gone because I've done it, but you click something here, and then you click OneDrive, click your Radford account, and click Access, and then your OneDrive should be mapped into the system. So now go to this window, click File, and we're going to open the data that you just saved to your OneDrive. So go to Data, and from here, you're going to click the Look In, and then it should have your OneDrive location here. Go to Files, and then this is the folder that I created. Okay. And here's the data. Now you're going to use assignment 2 for your assignment 2 to complete assignment 2, but for demonstration, I'm just going to use assignment 1 so that I'm not repeating everything. I'm not disclosing answer basically. So I'm going to open that. So you're going to click assignment 2 and open that to do the analysis. So once you click the data should load up to your SPSS. Again, these are all the variables of the data, and each row refers to a participant. Okay. So assignment 2 asks you to make a distribution graph and distribution table for different variables. And I'm going to show you with one variable. So go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequencies, and move over the variable that you want to make a table or graph of. If you're just wanting to get a table, all you need to do is just click this Display Frequency Tables, and it'll just pop out the table for you. If you want to do the graph also, go to Charts, and then you have to choose the type of graph that you want. You either want bar chart or histogram in this class. And remember, you have to determine what type of variable is this to determine which graph is more appropriate. TV time, how much TV do you watch? It can be decimals, right? Because you can technically watch 3 hours and 1 minute, 3.1 hours, right? Since decimals make sense, it's a continuous variable. If it's a continuous variable, you would use a histogram. And then if you click continue, and then now you click OK. And now the output has the table and the graph for you. So for the answers to these questions where I ask for you the graph or the table, you need to copy and paste the table either by taking a screenshot or taking a picture and attaching to the document. The easiest, I think, is for you to just screenshot. I showed you this tool in the earlier video. So just take a screenshot of this particular table, you copy, and then you would add to the assignment document. Okay, and you do the same for the graph as well. All right, well, actually this one asks for the graph and this one asks for the table. So table goes here. And you would do that for the variable that I ask you to do. So I want you to make a graph for gender and age. So think carefully which type of graph would be appropriate for each type of variable. And same thing with this variable, miles. And these variables will exist in the assignment 2 data. And this question, you just need to look at this graph that I've already provided to determine the shape of the distribution graphs. And you can use the information from the table that you get for the variable miles to determine the frequency of a particular score, relative frequency, and cumulative frequency. So it's this kind of reminder, review of the chapter 2, and it's a repeat of some of the content we did for assignment 1. And I also ask you to determine qualitative variable and quantitative variable from the data set. So if I go back to the data, these are all the variables, right? So go to the left bottom corner, click variable view, and you have the list of variables and what the question was for that particular variable. So res was favorite restaurant, so people had to answer what their favorite restaurant was, and then all the variables are labeled as such. Okay, so you have to think about out of all these variables, which one is qualitative and which one is quantitative. Remember, qualitative variable doesn't have an amount, it's a quality. It has a quality, and it usually has categories. So here I would say restaurant seems to be a qualitative variable because it doesn't have an amount to a favorite restaurant, right? And it's not, it only has categories. Quantitative variable, on the other hand, has quantity, it has number that describes the amount of something. So maybe things like sleep hours of sleep, per day or per week is an amount that you sleep, and it has a quantity, so it is a quantitative variable. So from the assignment 2 data, you're going to go through these variables and determine one qualitative and one quantitative variable. And now the final question asks you to do central tendency. Remember, central tendency, mode, median, and mean exist. And depending on the type of variable it is, and you have to also check the distribution to determine which central tendency is most appropriate to report. Okay, remember mean, you report mean when it's normally distributed, interval or ratio variable. Median when that interval ratio variable is skewed or ordinal data. And finally, mode if you have a nominal variable. So think about what type of variable it is each of these variable. And if it is interval or ratio variable, is it normally distributed? You can check that by making a graph, right? And then if it's normally distributed, then you would report mean. If not, median or mode, depending on what type of variable you have. So going back to this data set, assignment 1 data that I'm using for just some demonstrative purposes, I'll go to, let's say I want to report central tendency for class. Class standing is an ordinal data because it has an order, freshman to senior, but the distance from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior are not equal distance. So it's an ordinal data. For ordinal data, median is most appropriate to central tendency to report. So I go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and go to Frequencies, where we were before. And I would put class standing here. I don't need a frequency table for this one because I just want to look at the central tendency. And I click Statistics. And do you see this box on the right says central tendency? And you can choose 3 different types of central tendency. For this one, I choose median because for ordinal data, you report median. And you click Continue and click OK. And now output should give me the median. So median is 3. If you forget what 3 meant for that class variable, you go back to the value, and 3 means junior. So in the class standing, the median is 3. So the middle point of all the data collected in this particular data set, junior was at the 50th percentile. Okay, so you would again copy and paste this particular output and then put it under the output to show me that you've done the SPSS analysis. Let's have another example for interval or ratio variable. Again, maybe sleep hours. Sleep hours, hours that you sleep is ratio. Why? Because you can technically sleep 0 hours, right? So if 0 makes sense, it's ratio variable. And if something is ratio or interval variable, you have to determine whether it's skewed or normally distributed to determine whether you have to report median or mean. So I'm going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequency, and then now I move over hours of sleep. And then I want to look at the graph. So again, hours of sleep is a continuous variable because decimals make sense. You can sleep 7.1 hours. So I'm gonna click histogram, continue. And then for statistics, I'll put both median and mode, mean and median, because depending on the distribution, I'll have to report either. The mode I don't need to click because it's not a nominal variable, so I won't be reporting mode anyway. Click continue, click OK now. And now let's look at this distribution. I know this is not the clearest distribution, you'll never really get perfect distribution. But let's see where the peak is at. Looks like peak is at the center. And I know there are like higher peaks around here, but I would actually say this is normally distributed because the center has the highest peak, and that's where the most people are at. Right? So if it's normally distributed, ratio variable, where you report mean. So I'll copy and paste like I did with the snipping tool. And then here, I would say salary mean equals to, what was it? 6.96. Okay, here I would say median equals 3. Of course, it's for a different variable, but you get the idea. All right. So for using assignment 2, look at this variable, these two variables, determine what type of measurement scale it is. And if it's ratio or interval, determine if it's normally distributed by looking at the graph and report the appropriate central tendency. And once you save this, once you complete everything, like before, you go to assignments and you would submit that. Once you're done with everything, you can just exit out of everything because everything you need to save from here, you've copied and pasted, so you don't need this anymore. And you can also exit out without doing anything. You don't need to save changes, because if you ever need to reopen, you can just go back to the OneDrive and open it. So let's say if you just exit out and SPS is gone, you can go here to this app, and then you can go all the way down and click SPSS right here. And then the SPSS should open again. All right, so that's all I have for this video. Let me know if you have any questions.